Hi, I'm Andy Poole, Legal Sector Partner at Armstrong Watson, providing an update on developments within the legal sector at the current time. We have quite a unique insight into the legal sector, with us focusing 100% of our time on looking after law firms. And we're also outsourced FDs for a lot of the firms, so we see the results real time. And I've got to say that the vast majority of the profession has coped very, very well through COVID. Most firms have come through with higher profitability, higher cash flow. Most had a bit of a dip in the early lockdown period because fees weren't coming through, but the run rate since then has been phenomenal and has almost been too much work for firms to handle. And because of the fact that firms have been working from home, we've had a lot of cost savings around the travel, around the marketing, around the postage, the printing in particular. And so because of that, the profits have been coming through a lot higher than they have been for a long, long time.
Hi, I'm Alex Holt. I'm Head of Business Development at the Cashroom. We provide outsourced finance function services for law firms throughout the UK, about 220 odd law firms at the moment. Another significant area that obviously featured over the last month or two was conveyancing, featuring its second huge spike of activity in June. We as a business moved over £1.6 billion for our clients during June alone. And that was a huge increase on our kind of monthly average and matched and in fact beat the total in March. Now, many of our conveyancing clients have said that they have seen now a kind of almost a drawing of breath at the beginning of July. They kind of were able to take stock a little bit and kind of at least sort of pause somewhat in their mad dash towards completions. That, coupled with the fact that there is a pent-up requirement and certainly a demand for property work at the moment, means that our conveyancing clients are still remaining very, very busy at the moment and aren't really seeing an end to that right now. The September deadline for the lower end stamp duty holiday, that particularly up north, will have an impact again, and we expect to be extremely busy around September.
The key for me now is trying to lock in a lot of those savings. So a lot of firms are looking at their systems, they're looking at their processes, they're looking to systemize them, they're looking to make them consistent, particularly because fee earners have been doing different things in different ways whilst working remotely, but also to be able to lock in some of those savings, the good habits. So they're looking to go more along the lines of lean processes. But it's quite difficult to go along the lines of a full lean process review. So a lot of firms are taking a little bit of an easier route by trying to automate more, and that's a lot easier than trying to use AI or trying to go through a full lean systems review process. So it's about focusing on the things that are easy to update, the things that take a lot of time, a lot of data or entry, a lot of manual work, that actually we can get the computers doing things for us. And in a lot of cases, actually, we can get clients doing some input for us, which then auto populates a lot of the work that we do. And that's not just on the client take on, but it's actually on the legal work that we do as well. So we're seeing a lot of firms focus time on that right now.
Hi. My name is Geoff Dunnett and I'm Managing Director of Shieldpay. We are a payment services provider to law firms, professional services and financial services industries, providing third-party managed accounts, corporate escrow and paying agent services. I think case management systems and transaction management systems are seeing a real increase in interest, and the changes in those are really becoming very exciting. That interplay between the different types of systems is going to be key going forward. Firms are no longer just looking at systems on their own, and they're looking at their greater, the overall packages that they have, and really reevaluating this.
We're also seeing quite a few firms looking at outsourcing, not just the finance director services that I referred to a little bit earlier, but also a lot of their back office and a lot of their fee earning work. Now, if we think about it, historically, law firms have been focused on having the fees generation, which then covers a lot of fixed overheads. And most of the overheads are fixed, whether it's rent and rates, whether it's PI insurance, whether it's the people costs. But when we've had a bit of flux, as we have done through the last few months, and we will do, I'm sure, as we go through the next few months as well, as soon as we have a dip in fees, then we can't cover those overheads as easily because the overheads are fixed. So a lot of firms are now looking and thinking, well, how do we turn some of those overheads from the fixed costs into variable costs, so that as the income dips, well, so do the overheads. But as the income rises, well, we have to pay a little bit more for that as well. But at least we've got a little bit more of a stable business rather than having peaks and troughs. And that is, as I've said earlier, the back office work. So it's quite easy to be able to outsource things like your bookkeeping, your IT support, your compliance work, but also a little bit more senior than that. the IT director level, the finance director level. But also firms are looking more and more to be able to do it from a fee earning perspective as well, because that is the number one cost within firms. And it also provides a bit of flexibility that the fee earners are looking for themselves. So it may well be as we go forward that within traditional firms we have more of a fee share model, we have a more of a consultancy model, which helps them to compete with the rise of the virtual firms, the platform firms, which are going from strength to strength. Particularly as we start to move back into working from offices where senior people have been quite comfortable working from home, want to continue. The firms may or may not allow them to do that, full or part-time. And therefore I think there'll be more attractiveness to be able to take control of your own destiny and move into the virtual and platform firms. So they will rise in prominence still further.
The trend has been generally up. Firms are looking at outsourcing services, legal cashiering or third-party managed accounts. And firms are also looking at simple process automation or better tools to manage their day-to-day.
We're also seeing quite a lot of merger and acquisition activity right now. And that is because of the confidence within the sector. The buyers are there, the buyers are looking to grow. A lot of the established firms are looking to grow further. There's quite a lot of the floated firms, private equity-backed consolidators that are active. And they really do want to take the market by storm. They want to be able to grow, they want to be able to acquire more and more practices. So we've got confidence there. We've also got confidence in the vendors, the existing practices. They've come through, they've weathered the storm very, very well. But in a lot of cases, even though they've done really well, the management of firms are a bit tired. They're tired of running the firm. They're tired of the compliance. They're tired of everything they've had to do to cope with COVID, and they don't really want to go through that again. So there's a will on both sides there to be able to put deals together. And I think a lot of people within the sector will be surprised by how many deals are concluded within the next few months. As M&A advisors within the legal sector, we've certainly got on a lot of cases right now, probably more than we've ever had. We've completed 3 transactions within the last 3 weeks alone. We've got a few more that are very, very soon to be completed. And in fact, we completed one late last night. And so I think there will be a lot more of that as we go forward as well, further consolidating the sector.
A number of our areas that have seen specific growth were the claims management firms that use us, who were not as active over the last 12 months or so, but have now started really picking up. A number of other areas that we've seen interesting have been the multi-claimant lawsuits, some of these starting to settle, and a larger number of these coming across our way, an area that we will be focusing on going forward. We also are involved in a lot of M&A activity, and saw our largest ever transaction in Q2, a £440 million M&A deal. So we're really seeing, off the back of those trends, that there is clear increase of adoption of the types of services that we're providing by law firms and their clients. We've also seen a large number of enforcements by the SRA in relation to AML malpractice, which I think will be an ongoing trend as the SRA starts clamping down on these things. This is obviously going to be very interesting to observe alongside the land registry's statements around the standards for KYC and AML providers. I would imagine that there will be some quite interesting movements around that space going forward.